Hey there, Vikings, welcome back. We are on episode 20 now, and you catch us on the way back to the Black Forest yet again. We only got one episode of time off away from the Black Forest and our bloody copper and tin mining. Honestly. Don't worry, it does get a lot better as we progress further through the game. Ore mining isn't always this tedious where you're having to go back and forth constantly. But if you have seen our previous episode, you'll know that we are now we've made a pretty massive progression forward. We took a big step forward in terms of time saving. Oh, excuse me, just finished off a cup of tea and I'm a little bit gassy. There we go. So yeah, we took a pretty big step forward in our previous episode. We finally got our bronze axe, which now allows us to cut down a specific type of tree. I'm just going to quickly remove that Black Forest marker because we don't need it. We know it's here. We've uncovered 90% of it. We don't really need to keep anything else. Oh, there is a little bit of copper there. Oh, of course. We come back here and there's two of you. Yep, standard. Haven't even done anything yet and you guys are already showing up to attack us. Die. There we go. So yeah, the main reason why we've come back is that we need to cut down some pine trees and gather some core wood. We might grab a little bit of tin and copper whilst we're here, probably not. But yeah, so that's the other tree, it's fir trees. In my previous episode I was confusing myself as to the two types of trees that you can get in the Black Forest. I thought it was fir or ash, but it is fir trees. As you can see, they're slightly different colour. The pine trees are a deeper, darker shade of brown. And the fir trees are a bit have a greenish tinge to them. Well, as you can also tell as well, pine trees take a bit longer to cut down, a few more swings, because they are made of core wood and standard wood, so they are a bit tougher. And yeah, core wood is the main reason why we're here. It's the second type of wood, upgrade that we're getting. And we need it for a few things. There's a few good uses for core wood. Main reason why we're grabbing it now is that we need it for our pickaxe. Our bronze pickaxe requires a core wood handle. We can't use standard wood for it, so that's the reason why we're here. But we are also looking at getting core wood for some extra building components that we can build with it once we've actually picked some up. So you might notice in our main building, the first house that we built, I used some wooden support struts in the middle of the room in order to provide some extra stability for the roof tiles. You can make those out of core wood, and you can make larger pieces out of core wood, and I believe you can actually extend the height and the range at which things can be built with core wood, because it's a stronger type of wood. So I believe that if you were to use the core wood struts rather than the standard wood ones, you'd be able to build your building a bit taller, stuff like that. So yeah, it's just an extra little thing. That stump looked a bit weird as it was falling out. That was very strange. Anyway, so yeah, core wood is very useful, and we need it for a couple of other things as well. There we go. You can see them, those big chunky logs. We can now build our bronze pickaxe, a fine wood bow, which is our next level of bow. We can also make a cultivator, which is the tool that we need in order to start our garden and to start planting fruit and veg and stuff like that. And to also plant the trees that we have, the seeds for the trees that we've gathered as well. So if we want to if we want to grow more of the birch trees, those are the trees that give us fine wood. We can use that cultivator to plant them with the seeds that we've got so far. Yeah, core wood has many uses, not as many uses as the fine wood. Fine wood's kind of like the decorative wood, the nicer type of wood, and then core wood's the stronger type. As you can see there, it's a much thicker, darker brown than the standard wood planks that we get. But yeah, main reason we're getting it is for the pickaxe, but we do want a decent amount of it for other things that we're going to build as well. And then obviously the log poles and stuff like that are the main struts that we can use. We can make a frame for our next building out of core wood, which would then provide extra stability for us to make it taller. So if we wanted to make a multi-level building, so if we wanted to put a floor on or build an extra floor onto the building we currently have, we could do that if we wanted to. I'm not sure if I will. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided on this playthrough whether I want to go quite decorative and quite extravagant with some of the buildings that we go for, or if we just stick with the rudimentary, the function over beauty options. We'll see what happens. We've gathered a fair bit of core wood now, so we're just going to pretty much just head back, I think. I don't think we need anything else from here yet. I don't really want to grab any tin and copper because we don't need it just yet. Once we've got our pickaxe, we will come back and make a proper go of it. A proper decent mining session. But the other thing we unlocked in our previous episode as well is the portals, along with the next level of boats, which we're also going to build at some point. Hopefully we'll do that in this episode once we head back. But we can also build portals now. Portals are a nice quick way of travelling back and forth. We need two of them, one at home base and then one in the area we want to teleport to. But the thing about portals as well that I haven't mentioned yet is that when you build them, you do need to have protective walls and stuff around them. If you just leave the crafting table and the portal out in the open, enemies from the area that you leave it in will attack the portal and you won't be able to travel through it if it's destroyed. So we will have to wall off the area. That's why I kept mentioning that you might want to build bases in other biomes. That's one of the main reasons why. Usually when I first discover a new biome, or if I discover quite a large biome of that new area, I will put a little walled off area and a few basic amenities like a portal, crafting table, chests, that kind of stuff, just so we've got a little stopping place that we can get to, a safe point almost. Here's our raft. We might actually sail this back. Like I've said, the only reason we really want this raft now is kind of like a decorative piece. It's just going to be something that sits at our base on the coast. Not really going to do anything else with it, but might as well, while we're here, sail it back. I don't want to just dump it out in the ocean and leave trash everywhere. Oh, that neck really wants a piece. Go away, you. Oh, of course there's a grayling too. If you were ever wondering when we first started this playthrough, and when I started mentioning how annoying grey dwarfs and greylings could be, if you're ever wondering, I think I've probably proved it by now how annoying these guys can be. Look, I can't even turn the boat because this bloody neck is getting in the way. Can you sod off? That's the other thing as well, they can push your boat while you're in the water because they'll just keep swimming into it. I think they've got infinite stamina or something because they don't ever seem to run out of it. But the good thing is that now we're on the raft, we actually have the wind behind us. This is probably the first time since we first sailed the raft that we've actually had the wind behind us properly, so I can showcase the wind and the sail mechanics. So as you can see on our icon underneath our minimap, we've got the sail icon, which is full, and obviously you can see on the boat the sail is fully out. And then you can also tell on the orange or the yellow kind of boat icon with the circle around it, and the wind icon is fully behind us, so it means that we are getting the full amount of wind. But as you can see, if you look at the perspective we have right now where we're looking at the shore, you can see how bloody slow this boat is going. The neck is keeping up with us, that's how slow the raft is. And that should be more than enough of an explanation as to why I didn't want to use the raft too much. It's slow, it's so slow. I really, not that I dislike the raft, I just think it's rudimentary and you should only use it when you desperately need to get across a river, or if you need to get to a new island or something. If you were say unlucky in your island generation and you didn't have anything other than meadows on your first island and you really wanted to get to Black Forest and there's, you can see across the river that there's Black Forest on the other side, that's the only point that I would say use a raft. Genuinely, just because they are so slow. But there is one other use I do like the raft for, which is something we'll need the merchant for as well, which is fishing. You may have seen in some of our sailing and some of our running along the coastline and stuff, there are fish in the water. We can fish them, we can get a fishing rod and baits. We will need different types of bait in order to capture different types of fish. But yeah, there is fishing in the game, and the raft is really good for that. I really like fishing with the raft because there's no sides to it. It's just 4 logs and then a big sail. And you can just sail it out a little bit out, so there's loads of fish, and you can just sit there fishing, and it's nice and easy to gather and stuff like that. Fishing is another one of those skills that you can level up whilst doing it. And I think again it's stamina usage as well, drawing the fish back in and pulling the line back in uses stamina. So yeah, that is something else, another skill that you can level up. And you can also see on the coastline there's quite a bit of a mountain raising off in the distance, and I was just pinging it on the map to try and see if that's the mountain that we've got marked on the map already or if it's a different one. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to tell in terms of perspective and distance, how far away it is. Oh, whoops. We're a little bit too far away from the coast. We've just entered the ocean. Don't worry, we won't get attacked straight away. It's not like as soon as you enter the ocean all of the sea monsters are going to show up and start attacking you. It's not that bad. If anything, I believe they have specific requirements for being able to spawn, so it's not that bad. You are pretty safe while you're in the ocean. I just wouldn't recommend going there at night time. Or if you were going to go there at night time, only be there for a very short period of time. Or make sure you're only in the next level of boat. Don't go in there don't go on the ocean on the raft, because yeah, you definitely won't survive. Very slowly make our way back to our base. Start crafting the next level of upgrade. We might actually make the boat as well. And we'll probably throw down our first portal too, because I do want a portal to this Black Forest biome that we've been mining from, so that we can pop back and repair things and sleep through the night and stuff like that. That's the main thing that will help you in terms of skipping the night time whilst you're trying to mine, is portals. You can wall off a little area, have a portal up, and then as soon as it starts getting close to nighttime, pop back through the portal, sleep in your bed, and then as soon as you get up the next day, jump back through it again. It's nice and quick. Also gives you extra time to mine as well, because you don't have to take into account the 2 to 3 minutes of running back and forth from the Black Forest biome to your base. Now, I did mention in the previous episode as well, when we were first talking about portals, you don't have to use them if you're the type of person that would rather do this more realistically and you know, have a bit more immersion to it. You can completely skip using portals altogether, but honestly, after a while, it will get very tedious having to run back and forth constantly. But again, it's completely your choice as to how you want to play the game. I'm also pretty certain as well on the hardest difficulty level you can actually have the portals are actually turned off, so you can't use them at all. And I even believe your minimap's turned off too, so you have to pretty much do all of your travelling by eye, and you have to use a lot of like signs and things like that in order to be able to tell where it is you're going and, you know, find your way back to your base and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very different experience when you play on the hardest difficulty. It's something I'd like to try in future, but I don't think we'll do it for a while. I think for now we're just going to continue cracking on with this playthrough. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. Obviously I desperately want to get us to the Ashlands as well. Right, now that we're back home, I'll take you through some of the upgrades we can make with our core wood that we've gathered from the Black Forest. I'm just going to quickly dump a couple of items in these chests. Just using the quick stack option and opening all the chests and dumping everything that's already there. It's a fantastic option, I love that one. Makes it so much easier to organise your chests and have things in the right place. Right, so with core wood, I have mentioned these before. You can build these log poles with core wood. Actually, there's these ones here. So when we first built our house, we used those wooden ones, the standard wooden ones, which we had to build several of them to get them to increase the stability up to the roof so that we could actually have the roof not fall in on us once we'd built it. Now these are taller, and I believe you can also increase your build height by using these as well. I think you can build a taller building with them because they are made out of a stronger piece of wood. You can also build them in different angles as well. So there's different angled ones that you can have. So I believe you could even make like a big building like frame out of them, then stick the wood walls on, which would have a lot more stability to them. Here is a sitting log. This is one of the first pieces. I think I might actually put one of these in here. Yeah, sod it, why not? So this is one of the first pieces we can make that actually increases our comfort. We've had a few pieces that we can build now. Fine wood is the first type of wood you get, or one of the first things you get that actually helps, that you can build things to actually increase the comfort level with. So you can see there our comfort is now level 5 and we're getting 12 minutes of rested rather than 11. And there are several different options that you can use in order to increase the comfort. But one thing to be aware of is that different comfort sources only give you you only get one load of comfort from them. So you can't just build 20 chairs and get plus 20 comfort from them. It doesn't work that way. But there are several different sources of comfort, like bed, there's tables as well. There's chair and table. There are also higher level versions of them that give you more comfort, so a bigger version of the bed, better chairs and tables, that kind of stuff. We will cover these things in more detail when we actually focus on getting a decent comfort room going. I will build a few pieces here and there, and I'll mention it as well that we're building them and that they increase the comforts, like rugs, like the deer rug and the troll hide rug we could make. Putting one of those on the floor would also increase our comfort. I just haven't decided where we want our comfort part to be yet. It might just be this room here, but we're going to wait until we progress a little bit further. I think upgrades for like weapons and stuff are a bit more important than increasing our comfort. There we go, there's our bronze pickaxe. You can see we needed core wood for. We also need 10 bars of bronze. I think we should have that now. I'm not 100% sure, we might need to go get a little bit more first. But one of the first things I do want to make is the fine wood bow, which is the next level of bow upgrade for our crude bow that we've been using since the start. It's a pretty decent bow, is the fine wood bow. It's one of the... It's difficult to explain, but it obviously increases the damage that you're doing with your arrows, but obviously your arrow damage does count as well. So it your damage from shooting a bow and arrow does count from both your arrow and your bow. But the main reason why you want a fine wood bow is the arrow drop. It's considerably less than the crude bow, so that you don't have to aim as high when you're shooting things that are further away. I believe it charges up a bit quicker as well, so the circle that kind of zooms into your crosshair when you're charging up the bow, charging up your shot, I believe that's slightly quicker as well, but I also think that might be down to the level of your bow skill rather than the actual bow itself. But I could be wrong. I haven't thoroughly gone into bows on Valheim. I use them here and there for certain things, but I'm much more of a melee kind of sword and board fighter, like sword and shield, that type of thing. So we will make the bow, we will use it every now and then, but I think the majority of combat we'll do will be up close melee. We might try the spell casting as well once we get to the Mistlands, because there is spell casting in Mistlands. It's interesting, the ones I've seen so far. If you look at our workbench table here, you can see that we've got the Stagbreaker highlighted. So the Stagbreaker is your first two-handed hammer weapon, which it's a monster of a weapon. It's very heavy, takes a lot of stamina to swing, but it does a truckload of damage. It's basically a two-handed hammer that you slam onto the ground, and it does a big area of effect, like damage, attack. It's kind of like a shockwave from where the hammer hits. It's blunt damage, so it's really effective against skeletons, and a lot of the veterans of Valheim would say that the Stagbreaker hammer is very good for getting started in burial chambers, and it even helps against some of the other like Black Forest creatures as well. I'm 50-50 with it. I have tried it in a previous playthrough, but it's pretty good. It's not a bad weapon. It's not my playstyle. I'm not a big fan of really slow attacking and high stamina use weapons. I'd much rather have something like a sword, like a one-handed item that I can attack several times with, and then kind of like put my shield up and block, or I can dodge roll and then, you know, jump in and stab a few times and stomp back out again, or something like that. Obviously my playstyle kind of evolves depending on where we are. There are different, as we said, there's different damage types, and enemies are weak to certain damage types and resistant to certain damage types, so we will be changing the weapons we use constantly throughout the playthrough. I won't stick to one weapon type the whole time. Now we are going to make our Karve, our next level of boat. First thing we need is 80 bronze nails, which is 4 bronze bars, as we get 20 nails per bar. We also need 20 resin, I believe it is, and 10 deer hide for the sail. We're also going to need some fine wood too, 30 fine wood I believe in total. So we are going to have to go back out and grab some more fine wood, cut down some more fine wood trees, the birch trees I believe they are. So we're just going to pop out and grab those now, and then we can build our boat. Okay, I think that'll be enough fine wood for our purposes. I probably went a bit overboard there, but we're going to need a lot of fine wood going throughout the rest of the game, so having more is always a good thing. Now we're going to head over to the shore, where our raft is currently sitting. Now that we have another level of boat, and it's a slightly bigger boat as well, I am going to think about making a dock for our little shoreline here. Something small and rudimentary to get started, just so we can have something to sail up to rather than just having to ground the boat every time we get back. But this is our new boat. As you can see, the ladder that was on the back of the raft is actually on the side of this one. It's only on one side as well, which can be a bit of a pain sometimes, so please try and keep yourself aware as to which side the ladder is on before you dismount your boat, especially if it's in the middle of water. Because, yeah, last thing you want is to have to swim around your boat to get back on board, but your stamina's running low and the ladder's on the other side. So yeah, it can be a bit of a pain. Now we might as well use this to go back over to the Black Forest, and seeing as though it's got a 4-slot inventory as well, we might as well, you know, gather a bit of stuff while we're out there, gather a bit of tin, a bit of copper, gather a bit more of that. We are going to need to start another pretty large farming session whilst we're over there. Maybe the big one. The big one is basically getting as much as possible. I'm hoping for at least 100 bronze out of it. Maybe a bit less. Maybe not that much, considering we've already got the bench upgrades and we've got a couple of the tools already, so maybe not as much as that, but we'll see. Still has the same rudimentary rudder system where the first speed is you just using the rudder as like an oar, and the same turning system. Pretty much exactly the same sailing system throughout all of the boat. There isn't really anything that really changes. The only thing that changes per se is the your spatial awareness, obviously, because it's a much longer boat but it's much thinner. You can be a bit more nimble in your turning and stuff like that. Just about have the wind behind us, but trying to get away from the shoreline is a bit of a pain. If we can get the sail going, get us a bit of speed. There we go, perfect. And you can already see, if we just get off the map for a second, you can already see the speed difference between the two. Look how rapid this thing is. I do enjoy sailing the Karve because it's smaller and a bit more nimble, but it's faster. It's just a really nice boat to sail. I really like taking it down rivers that kind of span from one side of an island to another. So if you're like sailing through the meadows or something, it's just really nice and scenic. I quite like it. Sadly, we do have the wind against us on the way back to the Black Forest, so we are going to have to go by the rudder. Now, don't get me wrong, the rudder speed is different for every boat as well. It's not that, you know, the rudder speed on the raft would be the same rudder speed for every boat. You do sail it faster when you're using just the basic rudder as the oar. So that is one good thing about it. I believe all 3 speeds change. The one thing I have seen with, or haven't seen with boats as well, is seeing them get capsized or anything like that. I don't think that's possible. When you're sat down controlling the boat like I am currently, you're absolutely fine. Even if the boat was to do a 360 or a flip or anything like that, it's not going to chuck you out of the boat. For anyone else who's in the boat who's not attached to something, so if they're not standing next to the mast in the middle of it and holding onto it, or sitting down on, because there is a plank at the front of the boat that you can actually sit on as well. If they're not actually attached to anything on the boat, they will probably get flung out from it. But I've never actually seen it happen. Quickly show you the storage. There we are, we've got our 4 slots. Not massive, but at least it's some kind of storage space. And the music has changed as well. We've got this kind of, don't really know, it's kind of this trumpet style music now. It's not very Viking. Strange. The music obviously changes quite a bit depending on the biome that you're in and what it is that you're doing and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't heard this music for sailing a Karve before. No, this is probably my most preferred boat when it comes to exploring. Although I'll probably use the higher level boats as well, just because they are faster, so it will speed that process up. But I do like this boat for exploring because you can get tucked into the oh, we just hit that crailing. Sorry, dude. Why are you in the middle of the ocean having a swim? Get out of the way. Beep, beep. Yeah, so I like using this one for exploring because you can get yourself tucked into the coast and you can explore as much of the coastline as you possibly can, so that does make it a bit quicker and easier. But the faster boats are pretty good as well. The bigger boats are pretty good because they're faster, so it, you know, kind of speeds up that process. Now, I don't want to go too close to the Black Forest when it comes to leaving our boat on the shore, just because I don't want to run the risk of a troll walking by and thinking, oh, that's a player-made item, I'm just going to smash that. We'll get a little bit closer, but I don't want to be too close. I want it to be close enough that we can actually, yeah, I think around there is not a bad idea, as long as there's no trolls nearby. We want it close enough by to some of the ores that we're going to mine, so that once we've mined out enough and we can't carry anymore, we can just run down to the boat, drop it in the inventory, and then come back out and gather some more. I think around there should be a pretty good spot. Just pinging it on the map so I know roughly where I'm heading for on the boat as well. I could use the minimap too, but I find pinging's a bit of an easy way of aiming for something directly, because you can obviously aim for the marker for your pin. Your ping, sorry, not your pin. Get a bit closer. What is that? Is that a grey dwarf? Yes, it certainly looks like one. Seems to be having a bit of a run around. Of course, the grey dwarfs are forming a welcoming party for us. I wonder if the trolls that we've spotted recently, so when we first came here we killed a couple of trolls in our very first visit actually. I wonder if those two trolls are going to respawn at any point soon. Because usually when you spot them they have like a spawn time after you've killed them. I think it's a couple of days, or it might even be a week worth of time, because they've been here a fair amount of time so far. I wonder if those trolls are going to come back soon. I want to make another attempt at trying to get them to mine some copper for us. And I know that this can be, it's quite a rare thing to do with the boat, but I am reversing it up to the shore just to give us a quicker launch when we want to leave. So instead of having to turn the boat around as we're trying to take it away from the shore, we can just jump in it and just go, start moving forward. Hopefully the wind will be with us so we can just take off straight away rather than having to awkwardly kind of use the rudder to just sail it forward. We are going to have to push it off this land as well. But sometimes when you ground it on the... when you ground the boat on the shore, sometimes you will have to push it off in order to get it to work. Using the oar obviously won't move it forward. You might have to push it off if it's grounded a bit too much. Oh, there's some tin right there. Perfect. Grab that while we're here. And just while we're starting this, I think this might be a pretty good point to call the episode. Don't really want to go too much further. We can, we've still got a bit of time left on this recording session. So yeah, I think this will be a good point to end. We are just going to start gathering a bit more copper. There's a node right here, so we'll just crack on with mining this. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching some of the upgrades that we've made. I'm certainly happy now that we've got the next level of boat. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.